dude. Is it weird that when we get together, the way that we get together is that we have to pod?
No, I mean, we get together at cons.
Yeah.
And, you know, we text occasionally.
Do you know that you're my most requested guest at repeat?
Really?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we did good pod last time.
Yeah.
We gave good pod.
You opened the floodgates.
Really?
Yeah, you said a lot of things.
I did. Yeah.
I know. It's no weird that we don't remember what we say.
I know. And then someone reminded me about something the Kris Jenner shit.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, someone was like, "Is that true?" And I'm like, I was doing it someone else's podcast, and I brought it up. I was like, 100% true.
Yes.
Swear to God, hand on a Bible. I was there. Like, yes.
You never got any flack.
No one said shit.
You do your pods every week?
Yeah, my one I do in I batch shoot it, but we're gonna start doing a bit more current, and then the Osbourne's podcast. We're taking a hiatus for a while on that. So
you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think I don't know, my parents aren't. They enjoy doing it, but I think that they're just really looking to kind of slow down a little bit, and
they've done everything, dude.
So it's
let them sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, just chill.
Yeah.
Play with one of the 10 dogs.
Exactly.
Are we going to do any more haunts? It's the first thing.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to.
It's because we're white.
It's potentially. Yep.
We can edit that.
Or we can leave it in.
Yes. It's because we're not diverse enough. This was Is that fair to say that was a note?
That was a note. Is that
that they don't, even though the show's rated, and they loved our chemistry.
Yep. They didn't want to
greenlight
another series. Well, it was a part of the reason.
And we also have a penis.
Yes, we are three. It would be 3 white men,
with penises.
Yes.
6 balls.
Yep.
3 penises.
Yeah, running around.
Looking for ghosts. And that didn't sit well.
They just shifted how and what they were wanting to spend money on. And that merger between Warner Brothers and Discovery really, it rocked the entire industry.
I've been in the business longer than you, but you've been in the business longer than me because your lineage.
A little bit.
So even though I'm doing it longer, you're doing it longer. Because even when you were cells and your mother and your father, you were doing it. I believe that. It's in your veins.
Potentially. I don't know. It's a weird time though, man.
Do you think? Yeah. So so I talked to my buddy who's high up, who left CBS. There's a lot of these guys that have left big companies, and what they're doing is they're living in a small town, and they're doing trying to play the game remotely. And he told me that the Warner Brothers deal is, well, there was 15% layoffs at Paramount last week. Do you think, and apparently all the cable channels are being offloaded?
That's what I hear.
So what exactly do you hear? Right now, I'm looking at a pillar of MTV. If there's 10...
Oh, God, dude,
if there's 10 touch-tone moments, your show is one of them.
All right.
For sure.
Fair enough.
Might be 5. I'm talking about everything from Fart Man to moments on MTV to Radio Killed the movie video. I mean, your Osbournes are there.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Definitely...
You're definitely the start of the programming part of it.
Yeah.
And so you are hearing the channel, which you made a new Discovery relevancy, that it might go away.
I'm just hearing that these big conglomerates are just going to start selling off channels because it doesn't financially make sense for them to own. They want to own the libraries, and that's what they'll keep. But I could totally see them just offloading everything.
Well, who's going to buy it? What's it going to be?
Cable's going to be gone in 5 years. That's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to be streaming and a la carte. So you'll no longer, spend $100 a month for basic cable. You'll spend $100 a month for internet, and you'll get to cherry pick exactly what channels, if you want them, to view.
Do you have an overall deal anywhere anymore?
No. I'm like a free agent.
So you're like a lone wolf.
Yeah, I'm full lone wolf in it now.
But don't you think it's harder to sell more than ever?
Yes. TV, I don't even bother. Honestly, like I think what I'm gonna do is if I have an idea for a show, I'll reach out to, friends of mine and be like, hey, is this something you guys want to roll with? But yeah, I also have no desire to work for a network anymore.
Me neither.
Like, f them.
No, exactly.
It's like all we're doing is selling boxes of Daz, and I mean Daz is English, but boxes of Tide and Ram trucks. Like that's
100%.
Like I don't see a penny of that.
No, I agree.
And the money sucks in TV.
It does now.
Yeah, didn't used to.
No,
it used to be gangsta.
Yes, but now because it's dissipating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. Radio is a weird way you're going to pay more because of through podcasting.
Yes.
But I mean, not everyone, but obviously some deals are getting huge.
Yeah. But that's also a hugely flooded market because it's the Wild West.
Yes. So I believe that the business, I agree with you. I have no desire to sit there and try to sell a network a show and get a note and hope. I'd rather just do everything myself.
Yeah. And the what, I mean, how often have you experienced, you go in, you're going to go pitch a show, you go in and you're meeting with the exec, we'll air quote that because, they're probably a 25-year-old, was an assistant 18 months before and then got a promotion to being some
8 months.
Yeah. And they have no idea who the you are. They do not care. They're basically a human inbox for your pitch, and they just take it and then they go and pitch it up.
Have no idea who you are, and I'm kind of annoyed that you're there.
Yes. Yes.
Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like, why are you wasting my time?
Yes. Yeah. Where do you see the business in 2 years? Because I see it. I see only legacy properties. I see Beetlejuice's reboot of something else.
I see. Yeah. Okay. As far as movies go, I think
I'm just looking at any type of IP, whether it's a TV that worked, they'll bring it back. A movie, they'll bring it back.
I think companies like Neon, like those studios and like those indie spots, those are the ones that are keeping original story alive.
Yes.
But there's a huge gap. It's like you're either doing a franchise dinosaur or superhero movie, or you're doing a little tiny indie film that you can shoot in 6 weeks and there's 6 people in the cast.
Maxine or is the Independence or Marvel or bust? Do you know what the box office was this summer? Because I can tell you.
I know it was diabolical.
Good or bad?
I heard it was terrible. Like compared to like say 15 years ago.
People are saying, well, obviously Deadpool killed it, but it was down 11%. But they're trying to spin it as it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. For every one Deadpool, there was 9 that didn't work.
Sure. Yeah.
And George Clooney and Brad Pitt's next movie is going straight to Apple. Why? Because maybe Apple wants to buy more viewers, even though they don't need them. But also maybe the audience is just not there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so more into my online than anything.
Sure.
So I don't even know where this business is going to be. I believe it's live. If I'm, obviously the name that you have, the name that your family has, I made my own name. So it's like, get your voice out there, whatever it is creatively, meet your people in live, sell some merch.
Yeah.
And I mean, the cons are a great example of literally they come to our Jurassic Park where they're in a living museum.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we're
really
outdated relics, right? It's relics. We're Throwback Thursday. How are you liking the cons?
I like the cons. They're, they are a lot of work. It's like,
and when he says that, he's not saying it's hard work. We've all had hard jobs, and this is a guy that actually is a hard jobber. Like he's the first guy on a set with the axe axe or a shovel. So you know what hard work is, even though you grew up in a very privileged way.
Yeah.
You're a hard worker physically. They are hard work, and what he means and what I mean is energy exchange.
Energy, exactly. Full energy exchange.
Amazing money.
Yeah.
But it's like we can never have off. And I've had arguments, and thank you to the women out there. You know who you are, who I've argued with at the end of the day because I'm just too grumpy.
Oh,
And-
at the cons?
Yeah, and they try to be cute and be funny or say something, and then Alyssa's just like, and I'm just like, handle this, and she's like, dude, I'm dead. And she's like, and I'm like, and then but then the people, I'll talk with them or I'll DM them. I'm saying, I'm sorry, I was cunty, and they'll go, okay, because I see a lot of these people, the same different cons.
Sure.
But we're not perfect.
No.
Yes.
But it's, and you figure, I mean, dude, the lines you guys get when it's the Scream crew, it's like, it's all day.
It's crazy.
And
it's a blessing.
And you got it, and you think, okay, these people are paying money, and you want to give them as much time as you can, and you want to just shoot the shit and make them feel like, hey, like this is a worthwhile experience for them. But it is cool. You know, I've met some really interesting people. I got chatting to this one guy not long ago who was like, I think he definitely worked on nuclear submarines and like would go. That was his job. He was a submariner. I don't know. I think he was an officer for sure, but I don't know if he was like a captain or a commander or whatever. But I had a really great chat with him about it, and we were just talking about nuclear subs. And like that's the kind of stuff where it's like, how often do you run into a nuclear submarine? He was at the con
as a person.
Yeah. Came and bought an autograph and a picture, and
it's usually those are rare. You get fanatics, collectors, people that are on the spectrum.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But which I think is kind of awesome.
We're all on the spectrum, by the way.
But I'm like, what I was explaining to my wife, I was like, my biggest takeaway for cons are like, hey, there's definitely some tism going on.
Yeah.
And I love that they have that. Like they get so stoked, and it's like, that's what I'm pouring my energy into. And people will come up to me and tell me about like a random TV show I did 20 years ago.
They got the facts.
Yeah. And then I love that when you see the weird couples and you're like, oh, there's someone for everyone out there.
Swingers.
I yet to encounter that.
There's throuples.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's all types.
Yeah,
gay guys, a lot of gay guys.
Yeah?
Love horror. Young college kids. High school, new class now.
Yeah.
Moms and their daughters bonding, dads and their sons, families. Yeah, there's a lot.
My daughter
and horror nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some definite dark shit though you'll see at the horror cons. You're like, I don't yeah. My daughter though, she wants me to take her to LA Comic-Con like next month.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Is it more comics?
It is. It's a little more. It's like
which daughter?
Pearl.
Pearl's real smart.
Yeah, she's pretty smart.
She's seen a lot of things.
Not really.
Is she 12 going on 20 or 12 going on 13?
12 going on. I would say she's very much like a tween.
Gets it?
Sometimes.
Grandfather's Ozzy Osbourne?
Doesn't really get what that means. Gets it, but doesn't get it. Doesn't understand it because she didn't really grow up. My dad, she went to some shows early on, but my dad really slowed down over the last 6 years, and so.
I'm not going to say where you live, but that group friend circle over there, the same type of people, other celebrity kids or normal kids?
No, pretty normal. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, if it's bright and cheery, I say go. I don't like to bring, I don't have a kid, but I wouldn't like to bring, I don't like it when I see young children around gore-ish stuff.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
And, but people have made arguments and saying the world's crazier than this. And, but like if it's anime, if it's bright and cheery colors, or it's SpongeBob, or it's a Marvel movie, but like,
Yeah.
some kind of gory movie. No.
All right, I have a question.
But she's 12.
Scream is considered a horror movie.
Yeah, but it's a lot more than that now. It always was, but yeah, guess what? To me, it's pop culture lexicon. It's everything.
But I also, for me though, when I watched it recently because Pearl wanted to watch it.
The OG,
OGU.
Did it hold up?
It did. It was good.
Okay.
But the thing I actually really enjoyed about it was like, where'd you guys shoot that?
Shot it in wine country.
It was beautiful, like the houses and everything. I'm like, wow.
We did a great job when Jack's looking at the exteriors.
I'm like,
he's
wow,
like, woo.
nice
A little backstory. Billy Crudup, great actor. Jennifer Connelly, legend. Did a movie, Ron Howard. And it was a great movie, and I forget the title of it, but it was a big get that everybody wanted to get the Oscar. And there was a little horror movie. It was supposed to be a boogie movie called Scream. And they both were fighting to shoot in the school.
Wow.
And the school couldn't disrupt the year that long, so they can only pick one. And Wes is, NYU professor, eloquently written, just because he does horror, but he's a professor, tenured in. I believe he was, but he just is. You know what I mean? Like a tweed sweater. And Ron Howard also is a professorial. And Ron got the letter back, like, of course we want you. It's Ron Howard. It was in the height of the heights. And we got the letter back of how we ever consider this filth and this promotion of terrible and youth gone wild and murder and all this stuff. And no. And Wes, I believe, took that to the grave with him. He was like, I've never seen him mad about anything. He's like, okay, I'm going to remember that. Like, it was just so...
Fuck that town.
It was just... No, it wasn't the town. It was the school board. So he made the movie a certain way. It was powered by the repelling of the school board. And it was... They accepted Ron, who's a legend, obviously, so much, and looked at Scream and this idea as scurvy, that he infused it with all his Wes Cravenisms and directed it beautifully, but there's little Easter eggs, and we're shutting around the school, and it really irked him, and rightfully so. I mean, we were so respectful. We didn't go past 8 o'clock really much, except when we did night shoots.
Yeah.
And Scream became Scream, and that movie, I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
And I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying it's like, but to me, Scream is just a movie now. But I get what you're saying. Well, it's not class. It's not just typical horror.
No, but also too, I think that when I was watching it, I know it is a horror movie, but it actually feels more like a thriller.
Dude, it took me about 24 years to realize that. People, I think, are into it more than anything as the whodunit.
Yeah.
They like to watch the genius, and that's Kevin and Wes again. Because I didn't know what it was. I thought it was in a horror movie. Here's me. I'm lucky to be in a movie. I am the comic relief. You know what I mean? Matt was a red herring, but also amped his comic relief. Skeet was the heartthrob lead, also a red herring. Nev is our heroine. Rose is the snarky best friend. I mean, that's David is the inquisitive sheriff, and Courtney is the inquisitive news reporter.
Well, dude, how are you forgetting Drew Barrymore?
But Drew is, I didn't get there. Obviously, Drew, I love you. But Drew is our Tinder that starts it off.
Yes.
Because I didn't realize, I don't think I saw the Birds in a while, that Drew is one of the 5 Hollywood families of the lineage of which she has, literally streets named after her family. And so you guys can relate to each other. And I didn't know that Jamie Lee Curtis, all of that. I didn't know that Janet Leigh was also killed in the beginning of The Bird. Was she killed in the beginning of The Birds? Or no, she was killed in Psycho.
Yes.
But she was already a star. So she was a star killed in Psycho.
Oh, so that was the kind of the nod.
But I never know that until I had to rewatch Psycho, because I thought Drew was the first big star ever to be killed, and that was a huge hook point.
I remember, man, because it came out in 96 or 97.
It came out in 96. But yes, Drew started us off.
So in 96, I remember being at school, and just hearing about Scream and it's crazy, it's a great horror, whatever, and then everyone being like, but how the hell did Drew Barrymore get killed in the first 2 minutes of the film?
Yeah. Because I didn't even know that, because that was the hook, right?
Yeah.
Drew, I'm not, don't get mad, Nev, but I'm pretty sure Drew was offered, because she was super hot, and she got offered any role she wanted. I think she got offered Sydney, and she's like, no. And a horror movie's a risk.
Sure.
At that time, and Nev was, becoming a budding ingenue, and Drew said, I want to do that part. And Wes was like, that's a really good idea. So she shot her own movie. I never shot with her.
Yeah, I mean, she was dead.
Yeah, she was dead in a week.
Yeah.
And then that was the beginning, because they didn't know what they had, that put that together. And then Wes went back to the studio, and then the studio started going, okay, maybe we have something here. Because we came out against Mars Attack in One Fine Day.
Mars Attacks. Great movie.
But it didn't, and everyone said that was the real movie, and we were the baby movie.
No.
Exactly.
Oh.
So it's a fascinating thing. Now I'm just used to it. I don't even flinch when I see it, but there's billboards all over town with Ghostface now. It is McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but especially in the last 5-6 years, it's really like
Jenna and Melissa, the new stars, have really
revamped it.
Yeah, and now Nev going back
she's back?
Yeah, that's gonna revamp it.
Cool.
So it's just that, and Ghostface is iconic. I mean, it's just so I think that the new class is crazy.
Is there gonna be a Jamie cameo, like flashback?
Do you know if I could do that? Do you think I could tell you that? Look in my eyes. Bro, I'm like, everyone comes back, but I still feel I'm deader than dead.
Well, yeah, everyone comes back. Why
I should come back. People want me to come back.
Yeah, dude. They can make you look like you were 20 again.
Well, I know they did it with Skeet.
Yeah.
It's wild. I'm just happy to be a part of it. And the cons are making it revive. Cons are getting bigger than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, our panels are insane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the fact that Susan Sarandon goes to a con,
Dude, I was at one along with Richard Dreyfuss. I was like,
I
know. What?
This is what we're saying is for people to understand this, and you're being spoiled. They're being spoiled right now with what they're getting.
Yes.
Because these are people that there was a time where if you did TV, movies wouldn't even spit on you. Mm. And if you did theater, you wouldn't do movies. So there's this thing, right, of a class system in the town. And to do a con was the equivalent of like going away for a weekend and doing a porn.
Yes, 100%.
And it's like, now I'm so lucky because we have the best agent, and he's just dialed in. He's kind of a cornerstone of this business, helped shape it. And the fact that, I'm part of like a property that is so revered in the world, and we all do well, but obviously Matt is our cornerstone, Lillard, who is just like King Khan, and it's incredible. Mm-hmm. It's just to be a part of it. This is now the new coolest, greatest thing to be a part of. Like, and I think it's going to be super competitive, to be honest with you.
You do?
Oh my God, dude. Richard, I'm saying the fact that you said Richard Dreyfuss, I believe, has an Oscar, is nominated multiple times. He would never think twice of that.
No.
But the fact that he does is because of the demand. And also, there's this Star Wars actor who's the Legend of Legends, and what I heard he walked away with was wild.
Yeah, it's... Yeah. I mean, I brought my family out. They did one con.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yes. And my mom's old hood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Valley Forge.
There you go.
Yeah.
It was a good spot. But it was, it was an amazing experience. My dad loved it.
It was beautiful. I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
He just sat there. It's good for his soul.
It is.
Right?
It is. And that's what it really like energized him, and he loved kind of interacting with the fans. And he's really bummed that he had to pull the other shows, but it's a lot. It's a like we said, it's a huge energy exchange.
Yeah, your dad. I know the little I know of your father. I mean, he's lived a full life.
Oh yeah,
and he gives as much as he can.
He's been rode hard and put away wet.
I know, but he's still the greatest thing about your father is, and he's younger than my mother was, but he's just sharper than any tack.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But
for sure.
It's fair to say that the motor gets a little slower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I did hear this, like Alyssa was saying that, like, being around the people, he was like, yeah.
Yeah, he was hyped.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So people should know that.
Yeah.
I know. I hope you guys go out as a unit again.
I hope so too. I think we had to cancel the ones in leading up to there was one supposedly we were going to do in October, but we had to pull out of it because it was a week before my dad's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's a very good reason.
And he was like, I don't want to get COVID. I don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
And so we just were like, yeah, let's pull that one too. But we'll see. Nothing. I don't want to say not happening ever again, but yeah, it could. It's an absolute possibility.
Yeah.
Something close to home. That's the only kind of caveat.
Well, they're popping up all over LA.
Yeah.
I just know that, people were going crazy for you guys.
Yeah, it was fun.
And that's why I think Hollywood is just so different now. I think it's going to be more interaction. I don't think you'll ever see George and Brad at a con. It's not even about the money. I mean, let me just say this. The money is incredible. I'm very grateful. And I'm on the lower end of the totem pole. And I'm very happy with my placement. Mm-hmm. And the people are so generous. So that's why it is because I think we're generally good people. My cast, your family, like we really do want to give people the time of day.
Yeah.
It's not an autograph. It's a moment. It's an experience. Matt Lillard is the king of that, of like making sure that he gives everyone that proper time. But it's so in there. I forgot what I was going to say. It's just a new way of connecting with the people. But it's not, because I saw Shatner. I was walking. Shatner's on his scooter. He just turned 95. Sharp as a tack. Huge crowd waiting for him. And I'm like, he's Priceline. He's got 200 million. And the money is the money.
Yeah, dude.
But I could see that he really enjoyed the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I love it because it's like, it's like get when you can get it, right? But it's also not that. It's like, I do like, I mean, sometimes it's like, I don't feel lonely. I feel good. Is that bad to say?
No.
Like, the fans make me feel like they're my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know that. Is that funny?
No, dude. I
feel
totally,
like appreciated. And it's nice to go to a place where people love you.
I'm right there with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's.
I would do it for cheaper. I don't want to. But you know what I mean? But like, I do a lot where I just hang extra. But I'm sure your dad, because you've done well in life. He's done well in life. We can always use extra money, but he like you said, the feeling, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really enjoyed connecting and feeling like and just interacting with his fans because he hasn't in the longest time. So it was good.
Okay, now on that topic, because it's naturally going here, is that I might cut this because I don't know how much I want to step to people, but rock stars in general, and you've helped me out with this, I think are bitches now.
Well, I guess it just as I throw my phone, I guess it just depends on who it is. Yeah, who we're talking about.
Well, I don't want to say that about him because I love his music, but like when the COVID came back, the protocols, how people are, I think the comedians, the ones I like, are pushing more than anyone. Not actors.
No.
Not musicians.
There's been, I think, with the proliferation,
certain reality stars. You're one. You're on the front lines.
I certainly try. I think when people realized there was a shift in the game, and especially comedians, because you guys you kind of you're the center of your own world now. You don't have to rely on anyone. With podcasting, with Patreon, with these communities that you can actually engage your fans directly and you can cut out the middleman. That has, for comedians, really, it's just been phenomenal.
No, it's incredible. Like,
and so with that, they basically go, well, I'll say what I want. actors are still, they got to toe the studio line. I mean, look what happened to Gina Carrera. You know, she fucking.
But she's fighting the greatest
winning.
fight. Yes, and she's winning.
Yeah, she's got those Musk bucks.
Yeah.
So I actors, I can never sit. You'll never hear or see a mainstream Hollywood actor going against the popular think.
No, John Voight.
Sure, but he's a legacy actor, and you're not going to see John Voight in a Marvel movie now.
I don't know about that.
There's no way.
You don't because of his politics?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
Yes.
I disagree.
You think he's?
I think he
kind of
is.
transcends
I
it?
literally think he's grandfathered in. Yes.
Okay.
I think he's 84 or 85 years old.
I saw him recently at a restaurant.
I'm
I
sure
walked
you.
in and he was there. I was like,
I know the deli.
Yeah.
I know where you go. It's great. Did you guys say hi? Do you guys know each other?
No, I've never met him.
Yeah. Well,
Big fan though.
The sweetest of sweet.
Have you worked with him?
3 times.
Oh wow.
Legend. His politics are his politics.
Yeah.
That's what he believes, and I agree with a lot of them. But I also can agree with some chick with 6 colors hair in Silver Lake. Not on everything, just like I don't agree with John on everything. So I think, sure, are there people that are going to push back? Sure, but if Tim Allen's next movie makes $1 billion, you're going to work with Tim Allen. I mean, to me, that's what's sad about it, where we are. So you think that way. Maybe you're right. I don't think so. He was on a show on Showtime. He's Michael Bay loves him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, maybe John. Yeah, maybe John.
Rob
Voight.
Schneider. Rob, he's an actor and a comedian.
Yeah.
Russell Brand is not acting so much.
No.
He's just the voice of reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I just had this conversation so weird with somebody, and I don't want to go off subject here, but he was like, you're getting pretty bold, dude. He's like, you better dial it back. And I want to have him on my pod because I'm like, dude, I'm just investigating things.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, people are going to not want to work with you. And I was like, but why? I think everything's off the table anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think there's no $9 million comedies. There's no executives to pitch to. Am I crazy? Like, there's no studio deals. There's no A&R executives. There's no one giving you a record deal. There's no one. There's no pilot season. They know who they have. They know what they want, and it doesn't matter. I could take a shit in a bag, and if I've developed a $50 million a year audience, Netflix will go, how do I make that a series?
Yeah.
Hollywood just wants money and popularity. Do you agree?
Yes, but I think that they have leaned too much into the popularity and less into the money. I think that they've got it backwards
With
a little
wokeness?
bit. Yeah, they went so hard in the paint with that. Like, no, this is the way it has to be, and and sure, it has given a lot of people opportunities that wasn't there before, and some people have been given, platforms and jobs and whatever. That I back. But when you start making your creative decisions solely based on the optics versus is it good or not,
but that's good for us.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, like, I think that its shift is shifting.
Yeah, you do? You think it's kind of going, you think Hollywood's, what do you mean, shifting in Hollywood?
Meaning, well, I think jobs are less. I think, I think it's like there's people that are in and they're going to go, I think they're going to use a lot of the same people. I think the pool is smaller. Mm-hmm. And I think they're only going to go with sure things.
Yeah.
I think the independents, like the Neons, the A24s, those type of things. And I think Netflix has a hit when they don't expect it. Not all the time.
Yeah. By the way, have you seen, Chimp Crazy?
Who?
Chimp Crazy. Have you seen that yet?
I heard about this today.
It's the new Tiger King. It's the new fucking
Tiger King.
Heard
about this.
It's so good.
I heard about this.
It's so crazy.
Don't tell me.
I won't.
It's a lady with a chimp.
It's bonkers.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you have to. But like shit like that, I love. I'm like, yeah.
Yes. What I'm saying is, I think that we can push back now.
Yes, now with independent media, absolutely. I mean, you've got people. I mean, look what Shane Gillis.
Exactly.
Look at that.
Amazing.
That guy is the perfect, like,
amazing
quintessential. This dude said "F you" and
to the system,
and he is crushing it,
and has the talent. Well, he's so talented.
Yes,
but he also just did it his way, totally authentic to his voice.
Yeah,
he is the poster boy of really just doing it your way.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean,
but and then while we're on that subject, Sean Ryan. You ever watch that Sean Ryan podcast?
Another guy.
That guy never in a billion years would a network go, we're going to give this dude his own interview show.
Yeah.
And he's doing some of the best, most in-depth, thorough, thought-out interviews out there right now.
Yeah.
And he's crushing it.
Yeah.
And he came from doing freaking "This Is How You Shoot a Pistol" video.
Really?
Yeah, that's what his company initially started on Patreon, and then he kind of fell into podcasting.
I don't watch all his pods, but I watch a ton of clips. He's got amazing people.
Yeah.
Here's what I was saying. I know. That's why I want to have this guy on, because he's a legend. I'm not going to say who it is, but he's still like, please, Daddy, may I have some more? You know what I mean? We're not in that era anymore.
No, I'm like this to him. I'm
yeah.
Like, hey, you want me to do something? Great. You need to pay me.
And it's like, even if I'm perfect for a movie and it's right, I might not get it just because I'm a male or I'm white or I'm straight, or you know what I mean? And that shouldn't play into it. And everyone should get a chance.
I will say this though. We've been in development at Sony Studios for 6 years now on my dad's movie.
Yeah, I know.
And
should be a no-brainer.
They've been awesome. They've been
someone's greasing the balls a little bit, wants to get that going.
No, but like they've been great. It's been a really amazing
6 years, dude.
But it's been an amazing experience. COVID kind of threw it off and whatever, but it's been an amazing experience working with the team over there, and they're very passionate about it, and they're very trusting with us. And that I was not expecting. I was thinking it was going to be like, oh, we're going to get steamrolled by this big giant studio, and they're going to be like, thank you, we'll see you later kind of thing. But no, they've been great. Now, that's really, I've only really ever really done TV. This is my first time ever doing anything scripted in the scripted world. But it's been a great experience.
They have the rights?
They do, yes. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, if you're having a good experience, you're having a good experience. Yeah. Here's all I'm going to say is that I think the business is going to get more and more truncated. And I think that, like I said, as popular as I can get on my own doing it, I'm happy just to do enough that if I go on tour, I can sell 150 tickets a night. Mm-hmm. And if I sell some merch on the side, that's great. And if my views go up, it's great.
When you tour as a comedian, do you get...
And then if I want to do something on the legacy side, if I think the more popular I get, they'll go, please work with us. That's my opinion.
But with doing comedy, how does it work? Is it you get paid based on seats sold, or it's just a flat kind of...
Some and some, but I don't want to do that anymore. I got a good offer last night for just one show. And they gave me what they call a versus. So they gave me an X amount versus 85% of the door. Mm-hmm. And that's a very fair deal. And I like those deals. So, but I take one here, take one there. I have 4 stand-up dates left and 4 cons left. And then I don't have anything booked for next year. I want to just dial in on my online, and that's it. Mm. And these cons, I wanted to finish that thought was, I did them sporadically. Then they got more corporate. Before COVID, I did 5, and it was fine. It wasn't crazy, but it was good. It was better than it was for me in my career. And then one over COVID, and it was really good. And then another 8 months. And after Scream came out, I did 5, and they were crazy. And I did like 9.
Damn.
And now this year, I'm doing 15.
You did 15 this year?
I will. 15.
Wow. I think I did like 3 this year.
I know. Well, you could have did more, but you have a lot going on. And that's what I'm saying. And my agent is not, him, he's not one to want to overexpose his clients.
No.
So that there are cities that have 4 cons in one weekend in the same city. So I'm saying I could, I don't know. It could die tomorrow, but if it's part of my routine, I'm glad to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a stream leading to a river.
Exactly. Speaking of this, when I was saying rock stars, it's because the Foo Fighters wanted to sue Trump for playing There Goes My Hero when he brought out RFK. And I did a comedy festival on the Foo Fighters. I'm like, bro.
Here's my
I
take
love
on
your
that.
music, dude, but Jesus.
They're just towing the line. They're towing the line.
Meaning?
Like, they had to do that. They had to say that.
For who? Do you know how many people that drive Ford trucks like the Foo Fighters that happen to like Trump?
Yeah.
Like, it's not everyone from Silver Lake.
Yeah, but I think that's a huge problem with
towing the line for their fans,
towing
the line for the
image,
label,
mainstream image. That's what it is.
Half of America, more than half of America loves Trump.
But they don't see that. They see what CNN says. They see what
Vanity
Fair is writing.
They're playing shows in Arkansas.
But they don't give a shit about that.
In Chicago, people love Trump.
But they don't think of it like that. They think of it like, oh, what are my friends going to say when I see them in Malibu?
Exactly. I'm so glad. Say that again. They're literally doing it to impress their friends at the chili cook-off.
Yeah, that's literally it.
That's bitch ass.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, backing up I believe it was
so true.
The last time Trump was running, they used one of my dad's songs, and we sent them a cease and desist because they didn't pay for it.
Okay.
And so they were like, they're like, oh, is it political? And I'm like, no, but if you're gonna play it,
but wait a minute, he plays it at a thing. You have to play for it when it's.
Yeah, you even at a stadium. If a stadium plays it, they pay.
Okay.
So they did.
But Ozzy's not against him playing Crazy Train when Trumpy walks in.
He's done it for both Republican and Democrat.
Okay. Beautiful.
So if a Democrat has used his music, he said, "Don't use it. Don't involve my music in your politics." That's kind of his.
So he doesn't want it involved.
He doesn't want it involved on either side. So that's his take. He's like, because he's like, I don't make music to be political.
All right. But just between you and me and a couple people on the internet, Sharon wouldn't mind if they used Ozzy's music, Trumpy.
I think she is. My mom, for one, my mom can't vote. She's not a citizen.
Yeah.
But I think she is leaning more towards a lot of the policies that are being spoken, that Trump. But then, as I like to say, very socially liberal,
100%.
But when it comes to certain policies on the conservative side, I'm like,
100%.
That makes more sense to me.
I think we're both independents, right?
Yeah, fully. I'm a registered independent. I'm not.
Yeah.
Either side. I'm if anything, I'm probably more a libertarian than anything.
Yeah.
Like, leave me the fuck alone. I'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
Go live your life.
Yeah. Pay your taxes.
Yeah.
You like, to have your rights.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. If you want to go marry a tree, go marry a tree.
Go marry a tree.
You want to identify as a squirrel, identify as a squirrel, but just don't tell me how to live my life.
And just so we're clear on abortion, it's okay that 2 men talk about it. My take on abortion is it should be legal, but I just don't want it to be available when the thing gets a credit card.
Yeah. When you graduate high school, it shouldn't be
like,
it shouldn't be an
I'm
option.
just saying, take care of it within a certain time.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
Here's the irony, right?
And don't use it as your personal be responsible with your fucks.
Yeah.
And this is men and women, okay?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, women have to carry the burden, unfortunately. But just don't use it as a form. Do the morning after pill. You got 3 months, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a lot of everyone always
Maybe
cites
less.
the way things are in Europe and this European country and this and that. It's like, well, let's talk about some European countries. For one, all right, most European countries, it's like 10 to 12 weeks. Anything past that, not happening.
Okay.
That's to my understanding. Now, granted, yes, we are 2 men talking about a subject which, it's...
We helped it.
Yeah. I mean,
if you have a baby, you have 4 kids.
Yeah.
I have a lot of pull-out.
Yeah, there's one thing that never gets talked about, and I heard this from and I've never been able to find the study, but I heard it from a friend who was an FBI agent.
Okay.
And he talked about the war. I believe it was I think it was like the Balkans. So it was like Sarajevo, Bosnia, Croatia, that whole war that kicked off there. One of the contributing factors to that conflict starting was the Soviet Union had outlawed abortion. And there was an entire generation of kids that were born and were abandoned and grew up in the streets. And these kids joined gangs, they became gang leaders, and then they became warlords. And that was the kind of, he described it as the trajectory to lead to that war. And that's something that never gets brought up about, and these people are like, oh, get rid of it, get rid of it. It's like, well, there are absolute consequences to both. But what is going to happen when there is hundreds of thousands of children that are born that do not have stability, family, nurture, love, money, and it will invariably end violent.
Wow.
Pretty interesting, right? Now, I myself have not read this study, but he was telling me that that's something that was when he was, I don't remember specifically what his job was, but he told me that was something that would get discussed a lot in the Bureau.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
So an FBI guy looked at it's like Freakonomics.
Yes, exactly.
And said, okay, we're going to not terminate the pregnancies. And what do these turn into? And they become literally
warlords.
Yeah, like the
yeah. Now, not to say that
bad.
that's
They're not all like that,
yeah.
but you're saying they've been some bad of the bunch in there.
It was a huge contributing factor because when they looked at a lot of these these guys that were war criminals and they looked at their back, they grew up in the streets.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. And if they turned out bad, okay, I can see the Monday morning quarterbacking. Obviously, I want everyone to live. Obviously, not if you're evil. But the darker thing is that.
Have you watched Born Evil yet on Max?
No.
Michael Bay just did like a true crime doc series. Watch that tonight.
Is it great?
It's crazy. Crazy.
I have to watch Chimps.
You have to watch, yeah?
And I have to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But how do you feel about people just being normal about their sex?
Normal sex?
Meaning just like you don't have to be wasted to have. Do you think a lot of abortions happen? I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because people just are irresponsible sexually.
I don't know. I think that obviously.
Well, okay. Let me just say
it plays
this.
a factor in it for sure.
I'm 54 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've had my sperm checked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I have, believe it or not, I have the paperwork. I have amazing sperm. Actually, there's notes about its capabilities of swimming and all these different things.
Sure.
I'm knock on wood. I've never gotten a girl pregnant,
and
I've done okay in my life. We used to hang out in the mid. So my question is why am I responsible?
Because you're responsible.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and listen,
I have more opportunity than most people.
I think there's a lot of contributing factors, but ultimately, there is one of. I don't know. I'm
saying just take the morning after pill.
Yeah.
I have my Catholic craziness with me, so I've seen some shit.
Yeah.
Because they with me with the videos. But I want to do a joke about it. I don't see it, but there's a joke I saw on Fountain the other day, and someone was with a banner, and it says, abortion saves lives. What?
Well, if they grow up to be warlords and criminals and they take over a country,
correct. But the fetus is going, what? The fetus is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look how uncomfortable it gets.
That is a subject which I think
it'll never go away.
No, it won't.
It has to have nuance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the problem.
Yes.
Nuance. And mainstream media is void of nuance because they don't have the bandwidth for it.
Well, they also want it.
Yeah.
Clicks. Okay, with all the stuff that's going on, and I have to say this to you because I don't want to lose my thought. because you said some amazing shit to me off camera many times. You've dropped jewels. And you said the downfall of society was 4 things. Do you remember what you told me?
Yes. It was, well, no, it was, I think is this the conversation where we were talking about the contributing
factors to the downfall of society, and there were 4 things.
Yes. So I'm trying to remember all 4. So it was, my buddy sent me, I forget who wrote this book. But I listened to, it was an audio book I listened to, and this guy explained that all the great empires, when they collapsed, there was 4 contributing factors. One was hyper focus on sexuality and like sex and, you know, just debauchery and shit like that was a real focal point.
Okay.
The other was the obsession and elevation of food. So thinking that like a chef or like food is like this, oh my God, like it's akin to the Mona Lisa, that plate you just, you know, put together. Mm-hmm. And then this was based on Rome. Rome they let the Germanians and barbarians in. And with the Roman Empire for the longest time kept them out of the empire. They were like, no, you can't come in. You guys are crazy. We don't want you here. We're not the same. Eventually, they let them into the empire, but they never let them into Rome. And then they let them into Rome. And once the barbarians were let into Rome, the whole thing just exploded.
What's the 4th?
The 4th was, I'm trying to remember the 4th. What was the 4th? Was it the holidays? Was it holidays? There was one thing about holidays that with Rome and in Greece, they became so obsessed with celebrating certain things that there was like less work days and nothing was getting done.
Do you realize what you just said? What did you just describe?
I just described America.
You just described 2024.
Yeah.
It's a documentary.
Yeah.
We're more Sodom and Gomorrah than ever. And you're talking about 2 guys that we've enjoyed life. Mm-hmm. And we're both like, whoa, this is a lot.
Yeah.
We're more hedonistic than ever. Like, sex is literally like, there's no cutesiness with it anymore. It's highly graphic mm-hmm. and in our face. Okay. The migrant crisis.
Yeah, all over the world. There's the shifting of populations all over the world.
I mean, the Aurora, Colorado thing.
What was it? Oh, is this the gang?
Yeah.
I only just heard about this.
Really?
Yeah.
How do I know about this for a month?
I haven't been reading the news. I stopped reading the news.
It's all over TikTok, bro. Oh. So, hold on, let me go back to that. And the other 2 was holidays. Mm-hmm. We celebrate. We have a holiday if you fart. Mm-hmm. And the other one is food, dude. All these food influencers, I literally look at them and go, you're part of the problem. Like, I like a nice restaurant, I'm not going to lie, sure. But you told me that, and it's like, we are literally worshiping food.
We are, yeah.
I wonder why that's part of the downfall.
I think because the way that, I can remember, I read, it was so long ago.
I went every food critic.
I'm going to find this book and I'll send it to you.
They worship. They're like, oh, and they talk about the way it's made, and I'm like, this is weird.
It plays into that. You've heard that saying, you know, hot.
And I love food, but I just like to eat it.
You know that saying, what? Hard times create hard men create good times create weak men create hard times.
Yeah,
it's a part of that cycle. So if you think about like when you're living in hard times and it's like we're grinding, like we're at war, we have to like go build a country.
The crunch was off. The center is gooey though. There's no time for that when there's a machete at your head.
Exactly. Fully. It's like I have to eat just for survival. I'm not eating for enjoyment. I'm eating for survival. Once it goes beyond that of like, well, now I'm eating because I can have a 7-course meal and
so we're on the Ferris wheel. And you saying we've had the good life, and now it's shit is hitting the fan, and it's a strapped up.
Yeah,
every way.
I think that
mentally,
I think that we are
soft,
majorly as a society. hugely
Soft.
soft. You know, if you know, not that obviously it's a hot button subject, but like Ukraine, for instance, like that's a society right now, whether you agree with the war or not, but that's a society that is at war. Like they are bayoneting each other in trenches, World War I style. And did you see
Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah. Did you see the phosphorus drone?
I saw something that was like,
dude, they have drones that is spewing white phosphorus into Russian trenches. Like, it's crazy. But America's not prepared for something like that.
No.
Like, if shit were to go, pop in the night, our population's not ready for that. We've got too comfortable because we've got phones and 24-hour internet and video games and fast food. And
how many people you think are aware that it could pop off?
I think a lot more. I think a lot more people are aware, but no one really has a plan. And COVID told me that. I was getting people calling me out of the woodwork, like, dude, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, you're too late.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, you're too late.
Yeah. We have this stuff. God, you just said something that was so good about, like, okay, you're not aware of what's going on in Aurora. So apparently, I've watched many videos on it. Gang came in.
It's a Venezuelan gang, right? Yeah.
I'm not trying to, target, but that's what they're described as.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, what I know, but I don't know enough, so apologize if I offend people. In a weird way, it's going better than it should in that scenario. In the sense of, they came in, commandeered the building. There's ring cameras of them, not just with guns. If you saw a guy in your hallway with a gun, would you think that's alarming?
Yeah.
What if you saw two?
Very.
What if you saw two with pistols and one with a shotgun?
I'd be very concerned.
What if you saw that plus an AK? And they're knocking on the neighbor door? Hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's on multiple ring cams. Okay. So, building was taken over. And why I say it's, if it's true, why it's better than it should be. It's not. It's terrible. But I'm saying is apparently they're kicking everyone out and saying you've got X amount of time to get the out instead of slaughtering everyone. I believe, but I might be wrong. The landlord and everyone's got to get the out. They took over the building, so I don't think it's been a bloodbath yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I might be wrong.
What are the cops doing though?
Okay. Apparently, the cops were alerted. All it was said was they couldn't do anything, and some sort of army unit was alerted, whether it's the National Guard or something. They said, yeah, we can't do anything. Maybe it's profiling. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then there's video of the mayor saying this is 100%. The media is not reporting it. Now there's new video today with the police saying this is false news. What did happen was this. It was a group of people, but they're not commandeering the building. Okay. Now, as that's happening, there's 911 calls that is happening in Chicago. There's also another call that's happening in Dallas. And there's tons of independent voices coming up saying, yo, South Side, they ain't ready for us. Obviously Texas is Texas. So apparently it's popping. And I don't think people realize what that could be and how that happens. And so that little van that you saw in the garage is not a terrible idea.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But that, that to me talks about that's Rise of the Warlord. We in our time,
I know. So I should go back to the abortion talk.
No, but what I think we're seeing is because there is a vacuum in strength in this country that you've got people taking advantage of that. There are, organized gangs, it doesn't matter what side, that are seeing the vacuum and they're trying to fill it.
Dude, the conspiracy theory is that the border, that we're all crazy to say that the border is a open fucking gate, right? Which is kind of crazy because there was some buddy pull. I was in Diego the other day, and the border was like, they pulled over like a Dodge Dart, like some car, and I'm like, there was like 5 cars on it, and it didn't look that crazy. But then I'm like, you see people running in Eagle Pass, like just literally walking over it.
Yeah.
So it looked like it was strict in San Diego, but maybe not, and other places. But the conspiracy is, if I'm an immigrant, meaning I was born here, but I'm Europe. I'm probably closer to you. You know what I'm saying? You're an immigrant. You're from here. Your parents aren't, but you're
I was born in London.
Okay, so even more.
Yeah,
but
I did the whole thing here.
Even though I was born here, my mom was born here. My grandparents did the boat. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really not our country. I'm happy to be here. I'm lucky to be here. It's little feathers. That's what we were taught. So we're all immigrants. I want everyone. People come in, have a good time.
Yeah.
Just let's go through the process.
Yeah.
And so I think that the people are saying, they use the race card and all this shit. So I don't want bad white people coming in.
Here's the frustrating thing I
just don't want bad people coming in.
The frustrating thing from my point is, I spent a lot of money on the process to get my citizenship. And it was a very long road, and it was it took me from
pay of taxes
98 to, it took about 10 years. 10 years to do it.
10 years?
Yeah.
I want people to hear this. 10 years.
And a lot of taxes.
As
and a shit ton of
the
taxes.
son of a musical legend, a pop icon legend, and completely transparent. There's nothing they couldn't find about you.
Yeah.
And it took you 10 years.
10 years. No, longer to get my citizenship. Sorry, I got my citizenship in 2012, and I moved here in 97, so longer. And what I'm frustrated at is like, well, if they're just giving everyone just, here you go now, like, here's your green card, and here's your, like, what about the people that, like, went through it correctly and did the process? Like, that's kind of not cool. So all of a sudden just be like, oh, well, it's not that way now. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it feels a little off.
A little? Have you heard about the 150?
Oh, the 150,000 Californias?
Yeah. And of course, loony libs, not normal libs, loony libs are like, it's a loan.
Yeah.
And they have to be approved.
And who's going to guarantee the loan?
Exactly.
How's their credit score?
The 4 guys that you pass on the way out here at the box, shouldn't they have first dibs?
True.
Shouldn't inner city poor people have first dibs?
Yes.
Shouldn't veterans have first dibs?
Yes. It's a really good point. Yeah. Do you know that I learned this pretty recently. Do you know that the reason why all state-run mental health facilities closed?
No.
Everyone always says, oh, Reagan closed them down. Reagan closed them down. That's like the big narrative. But actually, and I learned this from Dr. Drew, it was because of a law or something that JFK pushed through. So JFK was the one who said by X date, all state-run mental health facilities have to be closed. And that date was during Reagan's reign, his era, and that's why they all shut down during his time. And the reason JFK was so against state-run hospitals is because his sister was put in one and given a lobotomy.
So he wanted to do the right thing and have people dealt with and not just euthanized but still alive, basically. Yes,
but I think the push was the state can't run these hospitals correctly, so privatize it, kind of thing. But it's, to me, it's just like it's a glaring. I mean, like. So
is it good that he did that or bad? Clearly, because there's people in the street, it's not.
I think it's bad. Yeah, I think.
But his heart seemed like it was in the right place.
Yes, he was like, I see firsthand what state hospitals can do, and there were. Dude, I've been to some of these state hospitals and done ghost investigations there.
Yeah.
And the stuff that happened was just insane. Horrible, like, should never have happened in modern times.
Like what?
Oh, dude.
That you've heard or you didn't see?
I've seen footage. I've found there's one hospital called Trans-Allegheny, and they still have all the files, so you can go and read someone's and it closed in the 80s, and you can go and read about what they were doing to people there, and it was overcrowded, and people were just living in filth, and there would be like one nurse to every 150 patients.
Trans-Allegheny is Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Trans-Allegheny. No, it's in where is it? I forget where it is. Maybe it is Pennsylvania.
Because of Allegheny,
Virginia.
PA.
Virginia.
So, just literally a loony bin.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and yes, it was, I think, good to get rid of that, but it's just all backwards, dude. Like, there's no infrastructure for people with, addiction or mental health problems.
None.
Once they have burned enough bridges and no one's willing to help them anymore, that's it.
Yeah.
Sucks.
And we don't have...
And this is where, like,
It's uncomfortable to say that, but I was going to say, we don't have a gun problem. It's hard to say that. We have a mental health problem. We have an SSRI problem as well.
Yeah. I mean, you look at, all right, everyone always uses, there's guns, it's this, it's that. Well, Switzerland has a higher percentage of gun ownership than the United States per capita. There's not as many people, but it's like 90% of the population in Switzerland own guns. And...
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
And
you don't hear about mass shootings, though.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Interesting, right? Now, I think that...
Is it a small population, though?
It's a small population, and they're all, I think, I think there's like mandatory military service there, or like everyone, like the government, I think every year has like a range day, so you have to go and shoot and like prove that you know how to handle a gun in the government.
So it's really well run.
It's very well regulated, but 90% of the population own guns.
I mean, I'd like to know their population. But they excel in everything, though.
They're very efficient.
I've never been to Switzerland. It's one place I want to go. I also heard it's the center of, all the shenanigans. Yes, but like my nephew went, and he's like part English, part Australian, but he's more English proper, like you are, and he's like to the second the trains. Mm-hmm. The streets are clean.
You'll never find a wrapper, a piece of gum, cigarette, nothing on the street.
The chocolate is divine. He's like it's heaven.
Yeah.
He says it's incredible. Everyone's beautiful. So have you been?
I have been. It's been a long time since I was there, though. But yeah.
So he's correct.
Oh, dude, it was amazing.
It's
amazing. It's an insane country.
Yes.
But yeah. So I mean, the argument that more guns means more gun violence, it doesn't. For some reason, it doesn't apply there. But I think for me, I look at everything comes down to education. Everything comes down. I think so many of the problems in our society would be fixed if we had an actual working education system.
Yeah.
I mean, never gets brought up. Everyone's, oh, America's so racist, so this, it's racism. Number one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know a black guy who says it's not racism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they're stupid.
Yes. Well, we live in... I mean, I don't want to bum people out, these shootings, because we just had one yesterday, which was terrible. But I will ask you a real question, because you're, can I tell people that you are?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a gun guy. You are, but you're not a gun guy. You're just a person that is aware of your surroundings, and I learned so much about you. Because when I knew you, you were like the floppy hair, poppy, in the best way. Like, imagine a Nebraskan dude that can like hunt and cook and skin his own elk, but also have beautiful diction. You know what I mean? And that's who you are. You're a fascinating case study.
Oh, thank you.
And so you're more American stereotypical than most Americans.
Pretty much, yeah.
You really are.
Oh yeah, I do not relate to like being English very much.
But you also are more than English too. Like you're.
I don't belong anywhere.
No, but dude, it's wild because you could go out and pheasants and go on a pheasant hunt and wear poppycocks and such, but you also could get in the Chelseas with hooligans, right? And rumble with the Irish, but also you know how to with the Aussies, but then you also can get down in a Nashville bar.
Yeah.
So that's a fascinating mix.
Yeah, I can. That's it. Yeah, it's a good
I
point.
legit say that as a truth. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. Yeah, I can.
So, but you can go anywhere.
Yeah, there's very few places that I know. I feel like I could pretty much fit in.
Dude, you could go to Appalachia, figure it out, but you also can be at the White House Correspondents' Dinner and be completely.
Just saying, I'm not saying I'm not very well educated as far as like traditional education goes, but I've had an amazing education of social scenarios and like I always say this to my kids. I was like, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but if you're the most well-mannered, you are going to far succeed. Like you're going to go way further than the smartest guy in the room who's rude.
I love you say that because there's no arrogance. Yeah, you're the most humble person too.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. I have my moments. Don't worry.
But the English, I just lost my train of thought. You were just saying about English. Oh God. The Trump shooter.
Yeah.
What is your 2 cents?
Well, we were with each other at the convention when the assassination attempt
God,
happened.
that's right.
Yeah.
Where were you? That's right. You know, I'm disappointed in a lot of people what they were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really you good?
I'm good as hell. I just don't want, because I have like a couple of things and I don't want to keep your time, but I also
you're fine,
don't
dude.
want to run out
Yeah.
of tape.
I think it just goes to show you the kind of cognitive dissonance, the polarization, how people died there. A guy lost his life.
Yeah.
Other people were shot.
Yeah.
A ex-president and presidential candidate got clipped in the ear.
Yeah.
And to make jokes about that, it's like, well,
Horrific.
like, why are we doing that? Like, that doesn't feel...
It comes completely disconnected, cold, borderline evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet that the people that want that they want all the inclusion.
I said this on my podcast with my family. I'm like, after seeing him get shot and winged in the ear, and his reaction wasn't, I'm going to curl up in a ball, cry, and like, come, mommy, come save me.
No.
His reaction was he stood up, fist in the air, saying, fight, fight, fight. That to me is like, that's, love him or hate him, but that is a characteristic of a good leader.
He is a leader,
Yeah.
and that is the face of America.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
And people are going to go, you know what? Do I want that guy, or do I want, at the time, the guy who can't really string many sentences together?
Poopy pants.
Yeah. Poopy pants.
And now they're just putting everything on to Kamala.
Yeah. Oh,
Like-
yeah. Kamala. Don't say Kamala. Kamala.
I don't know. What's the wrong...
I don't know at this point. I mean, now if you mispronounce her name, you're a racist. What?
Wait, so it's Kamala.
Kamala,
Okay.
not Kamala.
Okay.
Yeah, tomatoes.
Yes. The Trump shooter.
Yes.
Inside job.
Probably not. Everyone wants it to be. It's
Numbers are moving on there, right?
yes.
You're telling me this kid did it by himself?
I think it. Yeah, I think he definitely acted. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was he had some help. Wouldn't be surprised. Be like, okay, that checks out. I think that he was a solo shooter, and I think that it just goes to show how glaringly inept the federal government is. Period.
You don't think it was MK Ultra?
All right, so if you want to get full tinfoil hat, you have to go all the way to like, all right, the people at play assigned the B team to Trump for his protection, knowing that they wouldn't be efficient enough to catch this shooter.
But there
that
was
they
no
had
like
trained.
manifesto. He didn't seem like he was a gun person.
Yeah, there's a lot
He
of
didn't seem normal.
there's
Like,
a lot of sus with it.
yeah, he was like
There's a ton of
crawling up slowly. It felt He felt like that
Yeah.
wasn't who he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has a lot of Vegas shooter vibes.
It does. That I will agree with. It does have a lot of Vegas shooter vibes. Like what? There's no. You're just gonna go do this just cause.
By the way, this isn't a conspiracy theory. These are just. All I'm doing is exploring ideas.
Mm-hmm. But that's the great thing. It's like we should be allowed to explore ideas. We should be allowed to say, could it have been this? Could it not have been that? And you shouldn't be a social outcast for asking those questions. Which now, if especially in Hollywood, if you turn around and go, "Oh, I don't think that's exactly what it is."
Yeah.
And the reason why I know it's not what they're telling us is because think about how many times you've read a story about yourself or an interview about yourself that is completely wrong, but it's been written as if it's right.
Mm-hmm.
And they were given all the information, all the facts, but it was still...
I can think of a couple. What is the most honest reporting about you? What paper? I know what it is, and I want to see if you get it.
Most honest reporting about me?
What paper did it? Or what news outlet?
Man,
Do you remember? Because I do.
You do?
Yeah, and you'll agree with me. I'm leading the witness.
You are leading the witness. I don't know.
National Enquirer, buddy.
Yeah?
They wrote the most honest shit.
Really?
They never had, because they weren't on anyone's bitch. Yeah. They wrote wild shit, but then they also wrote real shit.
They had some legit investigators.
Yes.
They did. It wasn't all bullshit, that magazine.
No. That's the real stuff. And even more than like Us Weekly and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
TMZ, pretty good.
TMZ pretty good.
They're not on all the time at all.
No, but,
and they get certain things wrong.
And they can be incredibly unethical.
Yeah.
Like the notion, the desire to be first.
Yes.
It can really throw ethics out the window. Like the whole Kobe thing is just.
Yeah.
I just forever. I just go, oh man, like you guys really. That's so wrong.
Awful.
So wrong what they did.
Awful. Yeah, you said it perfectly. The desire to be first. Mm-hmm. But I will say that, and I'm not defending that at all, so that is terrible. Yeah, I got to make sure how I transition, because that was terrible.
Yeah.
That I think everyone in town knows that they've made peace with TMZ for themselves.
Yes.
And they're just part of the ecosystem, and they've created a new ecosystem. And I think I think that they know they got to play ball with everybody on different levels, and they are going to, I don't think they're going to catch Brad Pitt on the street, but they need to treat him, the girl, I'm trying to think of a funny reference, the girl from, they need to treat like Chanel West Coast the same as they treat Matthew McConaughey. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because they want the clicks. Mm-hmm. So, and it's no diss to anybody. I'm just saying because Chanel is a different star than McConaughey. She's her own little reality, star. But so I don't know. My point is that the Kobe thing made everything dark. So that's up. That's terrible. What did they do, actually? They came first?
Yeah, they announced that Kobe had died in the helicopter crash before Kobe's wife had been informed.
It's terrible.
So she found out essentially from as I recall, I could be wrong, through TMZ.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
That's
horrible.
That's terrible. I thought they published some pictures.
No. That was
good.
The sheriff's department is the one that got sued for that.
Oh god, it's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So the desire to be first. But they are a necessary part of our thing. Like everyone, and they have said some stuff over the years about me that I didn't love, but then there's other stuff that was funny. Mm-hmm. So they've become more, jovial.
Yes.
That's not good what you're saying they did, and I don't like that. But
No.
that's terrible. But they are trying to. They want to work with us, I think.
Yeah.
In a way. Speaking of all this, you got to be real. Don't bullshit me.
Mm-hmm.
Is there more alien shit than ever? Wow.
Okay. I have this whole new...
Be honest.
Okay, I have this whole...
Blinking?
Blinking.
Okay.
All right. I have been probably putting too much energy into this and putting too much thought into it, but I absolutely believe we are in a simulation. But let me explain the UFO of it all.
Okay.
I believe that this is a simulation. This is a video game.
Describe a simulation.
Okay.
Meaning, because Sean Ryan had the guy on that said he saw code in the dirt or some shit.
Yeah.
Or there's code.
There's code in like nature.
Yes.
There's code in DNA. You can use DNA to store information.
Okay.
Like that's crazy.
Like binary code.
Apparently, like ones and zero shit. I don't know. This is just what I've heard. And if you look at like the Fibonacci sequence?
Fibonacci sequence has
Yes.
to do with that, yeah.
And that exists all through nature. There's a mathematical like
numbers. Yes.
Everything. Numbers are everywhere.
Numbers.
Okay. So
Fibonacci.
I think that it is entirely possible that this is some kind of simulation. And to me though, I come at it from a thing of, well, then that's proof that there is a God because someone created this.
Okay.
And I think UFOs are the watchers of the simulation. I think that that's how they interact with the simulation. And they are the watchers and the controllers of it.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so they dip in and out. Think about like, do you know what Easter eggs are in video games?
Of course.
Okay, so in Red Dead Redemption, I'm using this for the example because it was an amazing open world game. There is weird things you can do that will like take you somewhere into the game and like just weird shit happens. Like there's one thing where like there's a black hole opens up in the sky and everything just starts like shooting up to that. And what if ghosts and Bigfoot and UFOs and all that are just weird codes in the game to f with us? Just like in Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto, where you can play just the main quests and you can be a good guy or a bad guy, or you can start going off on weird little missions and you can start go and do stuff on your own, and then then weird things start happening.
So GTA, there's the main quest. Then they have side quests.
Yes.
That have nothing to do with the game.
No, they have to do with the game. They're just random side quests that don't really
give you points or anything.
No, you do. You get points, but it doesn't really lead to the completion of the game.
So, like, I used to love playing Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
So when Laura would go in, you would have to get your quest and your gold or whatever.
Yes.
So you're saying as she's swimming, I discover another little tomb within a tomb, like an Easter egg, that I can just do some stuff in.
Yeah.
It's just for fun that like the programmer put there to f with us.
Yes.
To have fun. So i.e. Wes in Scream played the janitor, an old janitor, and he wore a sweater that was red and black because it's an homage to
Freddy Krueger.
That's an Easter egg for those who know.
Yes.
So the Easter egg is for the programmers to be like, hey, I don't know, Laura could wink at you. It's whatever.
Yes.
Donkey Kong had a couple hacks. GTA, I know they sell different packages and stuff, but that's different. You're saying within the game and in San Andreas, there's side quests.
And there's little Easter eggs that are built in that just occur and this, that, and the other.
Okay.
I think that's what a lot of the paranormal is. That's what I'm starting to believe. Wow. And all right, so there's an experiment that was done.
Is it blinking?
Yes.
Okay.
There was an experiment that was done, and I'll send you a breakdown of it, and I'm going to do a terrible job explaining it because I'm not a physicist. I'm just a idiot. So
me too.
It was called the double slit experiment.
Yeah, I know all about that.
Okay, so you know about them.
Want me to explain it back to you?
Sure, go for it.
Here's what it is. It doesn't exist unless being observed.
Exactly.
It's very simple. Let's just say protons and all that shit makes it too complicated. I shoot a gun, a bullet comes out. Okay. When the bullet comes out, it goes one way. If I close my eyes, it goes another way.
It reverses and changes how it then goes forward. It goes back in time.
Yes. Schrödinger's cat. Schrödinger's cat. Schrödinger.
Is that?
Can I say that? Schrödenfadas. You never heard this one?
No.
Put a cat in a box. So the cat's in the box. Doesn't make any noise. You walk away. It's the cat in the box.
Okay, so this is what will lead me to my next point.
If you look, is the cat going to be there?
Yeah. Okay. Rendering. When you play a video game,
100%. I know exactly where you're going.
if you're on if there's another level, it hasn't rendered yet because you're not there.
Scope of vision is this. Everything else is black.
Mm-hmm.
It renders as you go.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see right now what I believe you can see. So I can't see behind me, but it rendered for you. But I'm assuming you're seeing the same thing.
And this is where things get really interesting when people start using terms like "my truth" and this is the truth. There is no such thing, and that I had this realization. There's no such thing as reality. There's only perspective. Because right now we're experiencing the same moments. We've been here for a few hours, but my experience is completely separate from yours. What I'll remember from here might be completely separate from what you'll remember. What I'm seeing is it's the opposite of what you're seeing. So how can you tell me that, oh, no, this is the truth, this is the reality? No.
Dude, it's a rap then.
It's not, because it proves the existence of God. And that's where I find solace in it.
Or the creator.
The creator.
The
God,
maker.
creator, whatever you want to call it.
A kid in Woodland Hills.
Yeah, on a computer in the year 3800.
Wait. Basically, if you don't see it, it's not happening.
Well, it's not that it's not happening. It's that it changes. It changes what it is when observed versus when it's not.
So it knows, if you want to say quantum entanglement, that we're looking at it.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Okay, so now the James Webb Telescope. Did you see the experiment it did where it looked at the blackest spot it could find in the sky?
I just heard a new news about it, but no.
So they took the James Webb Telescope and they pointed it at the darkest patch of sky, the visible sky that we could see, and they just pointed it at it for like days just to see what it would capture. And the images that it captured of different galaxies and just the craziest shit that from a completely pitch black spot in space to me goes, okay, the simulation rendered images because it knew it was being watched.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's why I don't believe we'll ever truly conquer space past a certain point. And because the simulation won't allow it.
Dude, you're like making sense. You're like breaking it down to like a Costco level. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
No, but hold on. So, because I don't want to lose my thought, is that the James Webb Telescope just said that they found twinkling city lights.
Yes.
But a city, how do you know it's a city? That's what I was laughing at. They were like city lights 7 trillion miles away.
It's Vegas, 7 trillion miles away.
That was like, what?
The Luxor.
So hold on, because what you're saying is, okay. There's more alien than ever.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yes.
Now, it could be more cameras. It could be my feed. So you, just before I ask you a question, so you believe that this is, it's hard to say it's a simulation because we are in it. So we're Sims, which still is real. It's real for me. We're Westworld. We're the robots.
Yeah.
Okay. And the aliens come in as Easter eggs to f with us or cops?
I think it depends. I think it depends on what their role is. They can be observers. They can be fixers.
To be referee the joint.
Referee it. They're the producers.
Okay. Sky there?
What, like, is the planet like?
Do we hit? Is there a firmament?
Oh yeah, no. There's like, do we have an atmosphere? Is it like something beyond?
Will a rocket hit a ceiling? In your opinion?
Not in a way that we will ever be able to reach. That's because the limitations in the coding of the speed of light. When you start getting into like the physics of stuff and like nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, because then then you get time dilation, you get all sorts of weird shit starts happening. And that to me proves that the coding in the system creates limitations. Like, it doesn't want us to go there. It's like you can't go from playing Red Dead Redemption and go into Call of Duty.
Because that game's not plugged in.
It's not. Even if it's all on your computer, you have to turn that game off and put another one on. You can't just leapfrog into it.
Okay.
They can't run at the same time, and you can't.
So you're saying, okay.
And so what I think.
But what are the aliens ghosts? Are they all in the same family?
No. And
Bigfoot they always say is an alien.
But what if Bigfoot is literally just programmed into this to with us?
That doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Because it's just like the guy. So the guy's laughing. It's like, hey, I got this big man. Because $6 million man, they said Bigfoot, and they timed him in with alien-esque stuff.
I think
Bigfoot's just like, here, make these people think all day about a Bigfoot.
Sure.
Literally a kid laughing at us.
But also look at it like this: the simulation.
Are you 100% in on simulation?
I'm not 100% on anything.
Are you 90%?
Probably 80.
Okay, where's Sharon?
When I talk about it, she looks at me like, what?
Well, and Kelly's going. Kelly goes, what does that have to do with the Gap?
I looked at Kelly the other day.
Kelly thinks you're from Xenon.
She does.
She also thinks I'm your neighbor on Xenon.
But like, I looked at Kelly the other day and I told her, I was like, there's no such thing as reality on your perspective. And she was like, what?
She got annoyed because it affected brunch.
Like podcast. But so I just think it makes sense to me.
Okay, so all right, you're just saying these are games. They're games.
If I put an Oculus on you in 2001, if I gave you an Oculus from 2024 and put it on,
I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
What in the fuck?
100%.
So what if we're in an Oculus that a civilization 5,000-10,000 years more advanced than us has created?
I'm with you.
Yeah, like this is the reality.
If you just gave a person a can of Hormel beans in the 1200s, it'd freak them out.
Yeah, fully.
So I understand that theory, but so where's Bluebeam in on this?
Bluebeam?
Yeah.
What's Bluebeam?
Dude, how am I telling you this shit?
Like Project Bluebeam?
Am I nuts or are you losing it?
Project Bluebeam?
Yeah.
Okay, Project Blue. Remind me what it is again.
Project Bluebeam here's the theory on Project Bluebeam. I'm honestly proud of myself. Either I've gone full Randy Quaid, and I love you, Randy, or you're just losing a step. Okay.
Maybe I'm losing a step. I know I've heard it.
Okay. Dude, you're the king. Okay.
I know.
Here's Bluebeam. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Divide and conquer. You're aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going on. 4 pillars of society going down. It's happening. If this election happens, who's going to accept the results?
Mm-hmm.
So probably mass chaos, right? While you're building your hut somewhere. Ushering in, no one can govern for themselves. They're all crazy. Here's the big theory. AI, right? We don't need the worker bees. My theory, the planet's already built out. We don't really need the worker bees much. So we got to thin the herd. You get that?
Mm-hmm.
AI can do the rest until it comes up to snuff. Then they don't really need anyone. So it's just literally who's friendly with the powers that be to let us hang around. Blue Beam comes in as a hologram, a world scare to basically
unify the planet.
NWO.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, guys? We're not Nigeria and West Hollywood are no different. We're all in the same rule because we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
We're fighting something bigger than
There's
gender,
fucking
race.
aliens
Yeah. So we all got to, and that's the con. The game is that's the con to get us to all like basically register our butthole. If that makes sense.
It's a great,
pretty good theory.
It's a great theory.
It's pretty good
And
theory.
for me, if it does happen, I'm like, more proof that we're in a simulation.
Okay. Well, it's just that the powers that be go, this whole thing is now New Jersey or whatever we want to call it. We're all connected.
Yeah.
And we're ruled by one thing. And Blue Beam is the fear. Otherworld terror.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also put a Satan in there. People say I talk about Satan too much. Put another worldly being.
But okay, more about the simulation. It's like, you've got all these religions that are, that have their thoughts and opinions on these divine beings.
Yes.
Sent from God. And what if they're just the creators dipping into the game to go, hey, check this out.
Okay. You've gone down the rabbit hole, which is incredible. And I don't want to lose my thought with this because, I just did a movie called Portal in the Pines, which I'm really excited about, but I don't know, my lawyer's not talking to me about it. And it's basically how, I think that's kind of a thing that I'm seeing a lot of lately, portals. In Sedona, there's a girl that loves you. Shout out Helen. She loves you. And,
cool. Hi, Helen.
And she wants to go on a hunt, but she's been hipping me to portals. And Sedona's a big spot, Chile. And so if that's the game or whatever, and the movie is about in the pines, there's a portal and there's another dimension. A la CERN, you know what CERN is.
Yeah.
So Portal in the Pines, the character, he really says some amazing shit. I play a paranoid guy, surprise. And he talks about IDBs, interdimensional beings. But you're not even with that right now.
No, I am, because I think it's a whole part of it.
But that you're just going to lump them all in this.
Yes, and it might be a way of just kind of just saying the same thing, but I think in order for something to get to Earth, right, an alien spaceship,
but if it's a simulation, this isn't even a physical place,
and therefore that you can hack the code. So what if there's a code to the galaxy that we just don't know is there? We don't know how to hack into it yet, but we can eventually, and that will allow us to just go boop, blip, and I'm in a different part of the universe or the galaxy, or a different version of the game being played.
Did you see Infinity War?
Yeah.
Did you see when half of them disappeared? Did you think that was predictive programming?
I thought that was a really cool. I thought it was cool.
I thought it was very deep.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more deepness in those movies than people realize in Marvel movies. So, and I thought there was something to that. But I also, because you're talking about Earth floating in this place. This is all I want to say. Here's what I discovered the other day. Because you're basically saying aliens aren't flying around. Okay. I got to get to death, but before I do.
Okay, sure.
I had this conversation with Alyssa, and she's like, well, I wish that it would happen different and this happened different, She wants her own little things. And I'm like, Christopher Nolan is more brilliant. Why he's a scientist in his movies, because in Interstellar, the thing that was really hard to watch at the end is not a movie. It's actually science. And he's actually on it. His movies all have a bend in reality in them, from the one with Leo to that one. Like McConaughey was looking at himself in different timelines. And that's actually been proven. So imagine you and I this is what I was trying to tell her, She was like, well, if I made this decision and we're talking, that's what it is. I said, so you and I are just, let's say we're just floating, okay? And it's kind of like string theory, but I call it tube theory. So let's just 10 timelines of your existence. Okay, so I was doing me and her, and I go, if you look at a tube like this, think of a poster tube that's clear, and you can see all of the footage like a pixelated TV, and each one is different parts of your life. And there's 10 versions of that, and you're out there looking at it. I said, I believe time is that you can take this one from the 80s, and I'm not living on a timeline. I'm in that game that you're saying, but if I could get out of it, I could then go back because I still believe that the 80s is still there. And I'm just in this part now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're talking about
it's an actual
multiple timelines existing at the same time.
But just think of time as a tube of actual, let's just call it a piece of tubing.
Yeah.
And that is still going on, and since there's multiple versions of me, so that there's the watcher of me describing this right now of me is watching me do this. I believe that, and I'm still in the 80s playing Atari in one. I'm over here at the screen premiere right now. I'm also in Australia filming Son of the Mask. My sister just gave me a wedge in the kitchen in '79.
Yeah,
that's what I kind of believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the that starts getting into the multiverse, like
but that's real. Yeah. So my question is, if AI can figure this out, you're getting closer to your thing. So if we tap into that, then I don't know where we're at because I don't know what death is.
Well, I think everything is an exchange of information, right?
Yes.
Think of it like when you eat something. That's an exchange of information. You're putting something into your body, and your body is digesting it, but it's breaking apart what that is, and there's coding in that, if you think of it in that way. And I think just as I don't even know I forgot what physics law or whatever, but energy can never just disappear. It has to
be not created nor destroyed.
Exactly.
It exists.
It just exists, and it just turns into something else.
Yes.
So we are energy. We have so much energy in us. We don't just turn off. It goes somewhere. We go into another game. We go into we then enter base reality. We wake up a la Matrix in a pod being used as a battery for a robot.
So my sister thinks you go into a box.
No,
it's not happening.
Absolutely, totally disagree with that.
Academic.
There is 100% something after this, in my opinion. That I'm 100% on. But I don't know what that is.
Dude, I'm so into that The Matrix was a documentary.
Yeah.
And I believe those two directors, they're two
women now.
The two sisters.
Yeah.
They were brothers. I don't know if I want to say that. No disrespect. Two sisters. I don't know. I think that's just like a bigger thing. Like, I don't know how that story just came to them. Or it was,
yeah.
Because it's so almost provable.
Philip K. Dick was the first person to propose the notion that we're in a video game. You know that?
No.
Yeah, Philip K. Dick.
Really? Mm-hmm. But he didn't do The Matrix. He did Blade Runner.
He did Blade Runner, Total Recall, and many more. But it's, I think it is, because look at it also like this, right? If we're all independent, if we're all here, and this is it. Like, this is our shot at, you're human in 2024. Like, this is life. Why is everything so crazy right now? Everything. I don't know a single person right now that is like winning at life. That is just crushing. Hell.
Well, there's people that are That's question.
Sure, but are they really?
Well, I think so.
Like who?
Well, Dave Portnoy sold his company for $400 million like twice.
Yeah, but I guarantee. But
I don't know if he's happy, but he's.
Well, I mean it in the sense of like who's happy, who's making money, who's stoked on life, who's like loving, like
content. You mean
content?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know anyone who's content right now.
I mean, monks maybe. Yeah. I mean, people act like they are online. They're big liars.
Bullshit.
Drinking a jug of wine.
Dude, nothing online is real.
Yes.
I'm going to prove even more that nothing online is real. I have zero access to social media, yet one would believe that I am posting all day, every day. I don't have any social media apps on my phone. I have someone that works for me that we send content to. And they do it.
Okay. And yet the perception of you is that you're an active poster. And that you're Jack Osbourne's. Wow.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to get there. That's really healthy.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
I hate social media. It's the devil.
I actually think it's great. I understand what the bad parts are, but you have to look. I look at it as basic what it is. We wouldn't be able to do this without it.
No, you're right.
The power to the creators when it's an unregulated society. It needs to be regulated in the sense of I don't want to see all the gross shit, but in terms of letting my reach my reach. That's what that's annoying.
The ability to have a platform is amazing. It's amazing.
Amazing.
It's everything else that sucks.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
A lot of people and bots and opinions but yes. That point though is that I forget.
Going back to what you said earlier, how everyone says you talk about Satan too much.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to go back to it, but go ahead.
What if Satan
in the crazy world, remind me to treat about crazy world.
And this just kind of came.
Not everyone, just this one guy who I love, but it's going to be such an amazing pot of red pilling. And he's either going to love me or he's going to fucking jump out the window. Go ahead.
But,
you and I already had a couple of clips talk about this on your pod that are kind of becoming, people are talking about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
about the music business.
The, Satan, the devil, evil, is that a computer virus? Is that the kind of a bad thing?
Malware?
Is it malware in the system? The
original malware. People get all technical with this shit with Satan. Again, I'm not religious. I don't know. I'm totally just a thinker, just like you are. That's a great take. That literally it's a virus. My whole thing is with it is that here's what I want to say. I believe. See, this is about this perception. My brain can break right now. Is that why is everything so crazy? Okay, you and I are on the same page. My brother, who's 68 years old, I go, is it? He goes, yeah. I go, Vietnam? He goes, yeah. I go, hippie? He goes, yeah. My brother's seen a lot of shit. And he's like, yeah. No, no. If you ask my sister, she goes, you're just on your phone too much. She's like, there was always blah, blah going on. Yeah, I'm sure there was horrific things happening in the Middle East before. Obviously, all the time. I'm sure during the Crusades, if I had a phone, I would see horrific shit. I'm sure Charlemagne did some shit. I did. Vlad the Impaler. But I'm just saying.
Do you know the theory about? There's a theory on Charlemagne.
No, but what I'm saying is, I just did a tiniest little thing of. Here's the 6 things. Have we ever had a president get an assassination attempt? A new president who we all thought was a Riri get kicked out. The new vice president that said 4 words during the whole thing, all of a sudden jump in. All the lemmings just go, oh my God, this is the one. And I had there's 8 other things just off the top of my head that are so insane. Oh, but there's a new sexuality. and it's called Sometimes Bi, and it's called like Sci-Bi, was where you're only bisexual like 2 days of the week.
That's real?
Yes, so I'm saying, so it's like, so yeah, I forget how I was going to say it, but I think between Gaza, Russia, Ukraine, 200 billion, potential nukes, monkeypox,
New
mosquitoes, new COVID, which you talked about on your pod, the mosquito shutdown in Boston, listeria, cucumbers are getting, all
border crisis.
Yeah,
gangs taking over cities.
100%. Everybody, breast cancers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just so much. Yes, I believe, but my sister will say, "You're on your phone too much," and my brother will
You
be like,
probably are.
yes, but I think you're a rational person, and you think it's nuts.
It's so crazy right now.
So, and I agree with you, and I just think it's going to come to a head. Blah blah.
It's almost
It's
like
never going to go back.
No, there's going to be a market correction.
Yeah, but we're
Like,
not going to
a
go.
reality correction.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
It means that
AI's not going to stop.
no, AI is not going to stop. But I think AI. I don't know. Like a part of me thinks AI is going to. We're all worried that it's going to be bad, but I think it might be good.
Dude, well, Mark Andreessen said that it's going to render everything very cheap. I actually think everything's going to be cheap because I'll be able to do something. It's a matter of if they share, if the overlords share.
Yeah.
Because you'll be literally 3D print a meal.
Have you seen that quote? Speaking of cheap,
And I want to hear about Charlemagne.
have you seen that quote from Jimmy Carr where he talks about buying stuff from a mall?
No.
He goes, nothing that you will ever buy in a mall right now will mean anything to you in 5 years.
That's so brilliant. Wow, that's brilliant.
It is cheap. It is worthless. Save your money. Save your energy. Why bother buying something from a mall?
Brilliant.
It's so true. You're like, yeah.
It's brilliant.
I cannot think of anything.
A sweater.
Yeah, I think a sweater maybe or a jacket that I bought in
Orange
a
Julius and Orange Bang. I mean, there's moments I want to, a movie.
fucking Cinnabon.
Yeah. A Yankee Candle. I mean, there's certain things.
Okay.
But yeah, for the most part.
I thought that was really
brilliant.
Yeah, actually, I should play that to my daughter. I was like, you need to listen to this, and it's true.
A Walkman, he's right.
Mm-hmm.
A back roller.
But everything will be outdated. Even a sweater that you buy in 10 years is not going to be, well, maybe it will have gone the full circle and come back in fashion. All right, Charlemagne. There is a theory that, because he was around in, like, the Dark Ages, right?
Yeah.
There's a theory that the Dark Ages never happened.
There's something with there was like a bunch of years cut out.
Yes. They think that we basically jumped 400 years. And there was all this misinformation about, oh, this is what happened. And the Dark Ages exist, where they call it that because there were no real there wasn't any forward momentum as far as innovations from humans. And they think that Charlemagne, the whole story, character, everything is all made up. It's just a fable.
For what reason?
It was something to do with the church and the calendar.
The calendar I heard, and it was like we jumped a century. I didn't know it was 4 centuries.
I think it was at least like numerous centuries.
So something happened.
And that it's actually the 1700s right now.
Yes.
And that we're not in 2000s.
But we're doing good for the 1700s.
Fucking killing it, bro.
So there's no scurvy. But something with the church makes sense.
Yeah.
So something happened that they wanted to never have recorded history about.
Yes, that they wanted to create the illusion of something, create like a whole change up.
Wow.
There's people that refute it, but there's a whole, it's a bit of like a flat earther type concept, but when you start looking at it, you're like, huh. Like, you look at the architectural developments, you look at castles that were built, you look at,
you know, all the written documents and whatever, anything from that period. And it's really, you're like, this actually kind of makes sense. Like, there's not a whole lot.
So it went from like King Henry VIII.
No, it predates Henry VIII. Because that was Tudor. So, like,
When was Charlemagne?
let's look it up.
Wow, I've heard this theory. That means they're hiding something.
Yeah, dude. And there's always someone hiding something.
But that has to do with like the Vatican.
We're talking about the historical king, not the guy on the radio.
Yeah.
Charlemagne, also known as Charles the Great,
Yes.
lived from April 2nd, 747
Okay.
to January 28, 814. He was the king of the Franks, king of the Lombards, and later crowned emperor of the Carolingian Empire, becoming one of the most significant figures in medieval European history. A lot of people don't believe he existed.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that theory called?
I'll send you a video on it. I forget what it's called. I think it's like just you could just Google, like, you know, Dark Ages didn't happen.
Dude, let's promote your pod.
Okay. Ghost and Grit. Or just at Jack Osbourne anywhere.
You're on YouTube too, or just
I'm on
Rumble?
YouTube, I'm on Rumble, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere.
And you're not doing it.
What? And I'm physically not doing it. I make the stuff for it, but I don't actually hit send. And then also I'm starting a new podcast as well. I'm starting one with it's looking like we're gonna me, Sean Avery, and my buddy Ryan Drexler.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sean and you,
Yeah.
did you guys know each other before we talked about you on my pod?
Yes, just from like the jiu-jitsu
Good.
world. But he started training at my jiu-jitsu gym, so I see him
He's
every
a
week.
legend.
Sean's amazing.
He's the man.
He's
and the
awesome.
other guy?
My buddy Ryan, who's how Sean and I know each other, and he's like a business entrepreneur guy, owned all these different companies, so we're going to do like a jiu-jitsu podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about jiu-jitsu, interview people about jiu-jitsu. It's just kind of a nerdy thing that we want to do.
So you have like 3 right now.
No, just
Ghost and Grit
Ghost and Grit, and then
and the family.
the family one's on hiatus. So,
Okay.
yeah.
No, dude, you're awesome.
Thank you.
My
This was
brain's gonna
fun.
break, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Watch this stuff. Guys, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Peace.